Our first outing is interesting. I believe it's supposed to be a Rex. Pretty sure because it's eating a Triceratops. But it was the body ratio that got me here. The legs are so skinny. Yet the torso, and the neck especially. The torso is fine, I think. It's the neck where I'm like, hey, it's such a big hunk and thick neck there, and then the face looks so small by comparison. The proportions, I feel, are kind of all over the place with this one, which is unfortunate because I think the posture is very good. It's not in a tripod stance. It doesn't look like it anyway. But the proportions is not doing it for me. Gotta say that. Okay, this one's a little comical. Because this thing was titled Iguanosaurus versus Megalosaurus. Which is hilarious, because both animals look basically identical. And wrong, but that's to be expected. This is back in the 1800s when this was drawn. But, like, they're wrong in almost exactly the same ways. Like, they weren't the same animal. Guys, what's happening? You know what? No, it reminds me of that friggin' Spider-Man meme. They're in, like, the same pose. Oh, look, a plesiosaur. Except, no, it's got the snake neck. It's on the surface. We've been over this many times. I believe there's an ichthyosaur off on the side, though. It's hard to judge because, it's like off to the side. I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is? Because I don't know what that is. No one knows what that is. We're just going to let him go. He's chilling. Oh, there's a lot here. Okay. So we got, look, a pterosaur. Which looks kind of like a bird, but it's a pterosaur. Hooray. And wow, that's a lot of... Listen, those are just dragons. I think that's supposed to be a plesiosaur. I can only assume it's supposed to be an ichthyosaur. Don't know what that's supposed to be. There's a lot going on. It looks almost like an old Renaissance painting. These are just dragons. They're just dragons, guys. It's okay. Okay, honestly, not that bad. Tail dragging is wrong, but other than that, it's okay. I just like the implied conversation here. Like, hey, what are you doing out in the water? I'm just chilling, Paul. You should try it sometime. It's friggin' 90 degrees out here. Come on. Get in. The water's great. Actually, a very good piece of paleo art, if I'm being honest. Fairly confident that's a Myasaur, and they're young. And Myasaur is one of the first dinosaurs that we have confirmed data on being on a rearing. They're young. Which, yeah, no, good interpretation of that. Interesting angle. Definitely unique. But yeah, I like it. Really no complaints with that one. On the other hand, listen. I can complain a lot about this. Tripod stance, a lot involving. Really, though, the issue, not really issue. It's really down to the ankylosaur smacking the tyrannosaur right in the family juice. Just no hesitation. He's about to get eaten. He's not playing around. Fighting dirty. And it's funny. Alright? It's really funny. I'm still... Look, I've been staring at this a while, and I still don't know what this is supposed to be. I'm not sure. I don't know. What is it? Is it a sauropod that's standing up? On two legs? Is that what they were going for? Maybe a Therizinosaurus. It could be a Therizinosaur or a closely related species. I think that's the closest I can get to. Obviously, if it's a Therizinosaurus, it's missing the scythe blades, but there were closely related species that didn't have those. So you could make an argument that for that. That's the only one I could think of that's even remotely close to what we're looking at here. Well, that's supposed to be a Stegosaurus. Although this particular animal's Thagomizer is overpowered. That is a try-hard Thagomizer. This Stegosaur isn't playing. The plates are also very sharp, like really jagged. That's an interesting interpretation. And he appears to be a belly walker. At least from this angle, it looks like he's dragging on his belly like a lizard, which is not how they would have walked. Nice piece of art. You know, most of these, honestly, are nice pieces of art. There's no artistic issues. It's just the portrayal. And I'm just really not sure what to think about this one. This one's okay. We like this one. You know, Apatosaurus, their heads are too high, you know, in the background there. Other than that, though, it's fine. Oh, and the tail dragging. They're doing that too, but you know what? What can be expected? Old style depiction, but a good old style depiction. Ah! What is this? This is mass chaos. So we got plesiosaurs, we got a shark, we got ichthyosaurs, we got whatever the heck is on shore. I don't want to begin. Is that a snake? It's got legs though. What is that? Is that a snake? Hey look, pterosaurs. Not even close. Okay, wow. That's a lot. Oh. No. Man, old school Spinosaur. Always a trip with you, isn't it? Sail's nice. Body posture's getting closer to the way it probably should be. Tail should be up even more, but hey, we're getting there. There's two ways you can look at this particular image. Either the Tyrannosaur is chasing down the Ankylosaur for food, or they are both mutually running from that horrifically erupting volcano. A lot of paleoart has erupting volcanoes, and that one's uncomfortably close. Tyrannosaur, if you are actually thinking about eating the Ankylosaur, you might want to wait on that, because I feel like the cloud of noxious fumes that's rapidly approaching your particular location might take precedence over today's dinner. And a few images ago, we saw one of your family members being hit well below the belt by one of these Ankylosaurs. So maybe don't mess with them right now. Maybe worry more about the volcano. See, this is what happens when you mess around and find out. Brutal, actually, man. Though this probably would have happened, historically speaking. Like they would have fought, and a Triceratops would have fought back. And I'm sure there was plenty of Tyrannosaurs that got injuries similar to this. He's lucky he didn't take it in the torso or the face. Honestly, when you think about it, how were these animals ever supposed to catch anything walking around like that? That Ceratosaur is balancing directly on his tail. Like, did you think the tail was a third limb? Like, how was this really supposed to work in the grand scheme of things? And to be honest, the Stegosaur seems more concerned about the Ceratosaur than himself. He's like, dude, are you alright, man? Because Ceratosaur's not looking so high. He doesn't look so good. You know? This was a fun one, because I didn't know what I was looking at first, until it dawned on me, it's a pop-up book. Okay, it's not like, well, it is art, but it's not like 2D. It's meant to be somewhat three-dimensional. I'm sure plenty of you had pop-up books as kids. You might still do. Pop-up books are always neat. They were fun. They got damaged easily, but they were fun. Nothing really of note here beyond general posture issues, but that has to do with more depiction problems, you know, when it comes to dated information that we had, and bad theories that didn't go anywhere. Or, sorry, I shouldn't say bad theories, just wrong theories, you know. I just thought it was interesting when I saw it. I'm like, oh, it's a pop-up book. I'll just show this, because it's cool. Okay, see, here's the thing about this one. You might be saying, what is that even supposed to be? Good question. I know what it's supposed to be, and you're never going to believe it. That's supposed to be a Stegosaurus. Really? Interesting. They seem to have reversed the spikes and plates in this particular depiction and put them on two legs. So, not even remotely the same animal as a direct result. Does anyone know what these are supposed to be? Because they reminded me of the Therizinosaurus before. You know, the one that I can only assume is a Therizinosaur or something similar. Because that's what these look like. They look the same. I don't know what they're supposed to be. They're not very distinctive. It's just, they look like two-legged sauropods. Hey, look, Dimetrodon. And we can say he's probably in the right time period because there's no dinosaurs in this picture. It's just Dimetrodon, and that's okay. Stay in your home. Stay there. Interesting depiction that I thought was meant to be a lizard crawling, but I believe, no, that he's just lying down for a nap or something, because the one in the background is standing up. And it looks alright. I think there are some issues here. Mostly down to where the head's at. The head should probably be lower. And maybe the neck shorter. But outside of that, it looks okay. Not awful. Not awful. Behold! Glorious mortal combat! Ichthyosaur versus Plesiosaur! And the crowd of Ammonites goes wild! Why are the Ammonites cheering? What is happening? There's a lizard on shore. He doesn't even know what the heck is going on. I always think it's just funny that the old tripod stance, especially one that's drawn in this manner, it never ceases to amuse me with how we used to think about theropods. The poor dude just looks so derpy. He's just like, I'm gonna get you. Like, the hobbling is out of control here, right? How else would they walk? It's just funny. It's funny. He looks like a good guy. He's doing his best. All right, he's doing his best. Why someone thought giving a, I was actually gonna call this a Corythosaur, but then I noticed, does it look like the dome is split in the middle? Is this supposed to be a Dilophosaurus instead? That would make more sense given the sharp teeth, but it's hard to say. I was thinking Corythosaur, but that might be a Dilophosaur. But then I see an armored dinosaur down there, and I don't think that there's a lot of questions. And he doesn't look like he has any thoughts in that big old dome, so we're just gonna let it go. Ah! Goodness, the chaos on display. Just jam every species in the same spot on the map, why don't you? I see a prehistoric shark. I think I see a crocodile. Definitely got some ichthyosaurs. One of them's biting off the head of a plesiosaur. Nondescript pterosaurs. Excellent, excellent. And a turtle. Absolutely. 100% top tier. I still can't get over how many old school paleo artists saw the name Iguanodon, looked at the description and said, so it looked like an iguana, right? No! No, not really! But they all drew it like that. Every single time without fail. But at least, outside of the first, few decades, they don't forget to do the double thumb spike thing. They always had that. It's the wrong stance. It's definitely the wrong head shape, but we got the double thumbs up, and that's what we're looking for. I think this picture is actually kind of cute, despite the brutality on display, because this is peak, your cat is bringing you home a dead bird energy. Although, it's a dinosaur, so I guess in a way, your bird is bringing you home a dead lizard energy. Whatever, anyway. It's just like, look what I found! I brought it home! It's for you! You're welcome! Now, on one hand, you may think that this is brutal and violent and gory. Yeah, but, don't you judge them. Because perhaps they are just in the middle of giving each other a big old hug. Their love is forbidden, you see. And perhaps exceedingly horrific violence is their love language. You don't know. These are two consenting adult dinosaurs, and you don't have the right to judge them, even if what they're into is pretty nuts. Give them some privacy, people. God.
Interesting interpretation of what the long necks on the plesiosaurs was for. It's thoughtful, actually. It's wrong, but, you know, I kind of appreciate the idea that, actually, maybe this is what they did with them. Maybe they used them to, you know, grab flying birds, or sorry, pterosaurs, not birds. Goodness. So, you know, full marks for the idea here. You know, it's not an unreasonable hypothesis with what we're working with. Oh, look! Feathers! And you know what I just love about this? I just love the one on the rock. He's like, behold! I am the king of this jungle! Bow before me! All creatures hail my plumage! I don't know what's happening. Well, I know that these animals are fighting. I think the one on the right is another plesiosaur. I don't know what the one on the left is. That could be frickin' anything as far as I'm concerned. Oh, good. Convenient labels for what we're looking at. Of course, it's yet another plesiosaur versus ichthyosaur moment. Because apparently all these animals did was battle each other to the death. They lived for the combat. And they were oddly yellow in this particular rendition. I just noticed that. Like, why are they yellow? Are these Pokemon? Are these shiny? Is that a shiny Tylosaur? Oh man, I gotta get my Ultra Ball. Someone should make a Pokemon-like dinosaur game. I think it'd be neat. I think it would be neat. Gotta fill our erupting volcano quota. Okay, it's very important in old paleo art. Because that happened all the time, don't you know? Absolutely, 100%. I actually saw a Facebook comment because I follow a few dinosaur art groups on Facebook, and they posted some actually very nice modern art of a bunch of dinosaurs in snow, and this one dude, who clearly 100% believed what he was talking about, was like, this is a ridiculous rendition. There was no snow back then, as the environment was extremely hot. And I'm like, no, it wasn't, that is a... Listen. It wasn't all volcanoes and hot and jungle, and no, there were dinosaurs that varied wildly in their environments and their abilities to survive, though apparently, according to this artist, there was an erupting volcano, as many thought, as well as a very tiny one. Very mini volcano right here in the corner. Look, it's a baby volcano. Soon it'll grow up to be a nice big volcano and be in the background for another piece of dinosaur art. Interesting speculative pack behavior on the Tyrannosaurs, though. I like that. I picked this one. Not because it's bad, but because I actually kind of like it. This is Dimetrodon, of course. Not next to any dinosaurs, so not in the wrong time frame or anything. It's honestly really good. Like, that's a very serviceable rendition of Dimetrodon. Not bad. Not bad whatsoever. Full marks. This, on the other hand, whatever it's supposed to be, I'm guessing an Allosaur, maybe? I don't know. It's just a dragon with a really, really broken tail. Goodness, what did you do to it? That must hurt. Okay, this art amused me to no end, because on the one hand, on the left side, we got an old school tripod stance. But on the right side, as a way to see more menacing, we have a modern proper stance for that one. Like you could see the difference here. I don't think that was the artist's intention, but it's kind of cool to think how right they were when it came to one of the Tyrannosaurs here. I believe they're supposed to be Tyrannosaurs, but either way, regardless of which theropod they're supposed to be, the one on the right is actually in the correct stance. Not on purpose, I imagine, but gotta acknowledge it. Now, that's supposed to be a Dilophosaur. I think this art predates Jurassic Park, so we don't have to worry about any spitting or frilled stuff. We just got the double head crest, and, well, he looks like he's standing upright, which, no, but hey, you know, it's not bad, not bad. This should have been on a curse list, actually. What is that? His back is broken. His torso's been smushed together. That animal's dead. I don't know how he's still walking. Goodness. Oh, no. I keep finding these. How many drawings of this weird, ridiculous lizard walking gait sauropods were made? I don't think this theory lasted that long, but it's always weird and unsettling when I see it. I complain the one on the right has its neck raised too high, but that is so not the major issue here. I guess at least they're walking on land, but no, their legs are broken. This is horrifying. Stop it. Speaking of horror shows, what the heck? This is just a bunch of dragons and death and... the eyes. Goodness, stay out of the friggin' water. But who thought that... What? See, what I love about this is everyone's labeled, so I know what these things are. Although I could have decided this was a iguanodon because they did put that thumb spike. But it being a iguanodon raises questions. Such as, why is a terrestrial herbivore attacking a mosasaur and winning? What is happening? How did this situation even come about? Why is iguanodon being portrayed as a predator? And what is Rhamphorhynchus even doing there? Are him and the iguanodon just good buddies? The iguanodon's looking after his flying bro? I mean, maybe that's the most logical explanation I could come up with, but it really only leads to more questions. How many overpowered stegosaurs were drawn? Why did the artist keep doing that? He's just like, yeah, I think he needs more spikes on the tail. Make him just absolutely wreck stuff. I kind of dig the OP stegosaur depictions. It's wrong, but I kind of dig it. See what I mean? It keeps happening. What is going on here? Why is... Man, one swing of that thing. No, I'm not playing. No, absolutely not. Stay away from these things. Super Thagomizers are out of control. Evolution kicked into overdrive. More spikes. Death. Kill, slay, slaughter. Oh lord, he chunky. Tripod stance, really weird face, and just chunky and shiny. Why is he shiny? Why? Maybe he's supposed to be wet. It does look like a pretty wet sea, so I guess I can't complain about that. It's so chunky. And last but not least, we have not a dinosaur in the technical sense. Well, yes, but it's a prehistoric bird who appears to have too many toes and is trying to evade something alien. I don't know what the thing in the water is, but I do know that I want nothing to do with it. Okay? Oh boy! An old school Diplodocus depiction. That is a snaky tail. The neck is too high, but it's the tail that's throwing me off. That is peak tail dragging, and it's almost like a prehensile tail. Old school depictions did this a lot with the dinosaurs, where some of the artists would give them really snaky looking, almost prehensile tails, which is no evidence for that. Why would a Diplodocus need a prehensile tail? What would that be for? Of course, now I'm picturing some kind of alternate reality where it would be so, dexterous that the Diplodocus could literally, strangle an attacking predator like a boa constrictor or something insane. That is not in the realm of fact, I suspect. But, you know, it's an old school depiction. Not bad. It's nice art. Got them in the water, interestingly, but not so deep that it's unreasonable. I guess. But they probably wouldn't have really been in the water that often. Maybe they wanted a bath. You don't know. Don't judge them. Yes! Yes, Stegosaur! Absolutely! 100% assert your dominance! Holy crap! I always love these! But can we talk about the fact that in this particular instance, The allosaur has been sent airborne. Like, completely. How hard did the stegosaur hit this allosaur? That is phenomenal. Literally punching him like a soccer ball. Absolutely magnificent. This is chef's kiss, peak classic paleo art. I adore it. Oh man, speaking of peak, check out this old school T-Rex. Look at this Chad. That is the friggin' Tyrant Lizard King. Holy heck. Tripod stance, tail draggy, but I ain't even mad, cause that just looks like an apex predator. But this page gives us text, and you know, I feel like I would be doing you a disservice if it did not read through this text to see how well it was handled. Tyrannosaurus. What a terrifying animal it looks, and it certainly was. Tyrannosaurus was the most voracious carnivore and the most bloodthirsty predator ever to exist on the earth. Making a lot of assumptions here, but okay. It was also the largest, up to 16 meters, 52 feet in length, and 6 meters, 20 feet high, weighing more than 8,000 kilograms, 8 tons. A true tyrant, Tyrannosaurus was the terror of all animals living in the lower Cretaceous. At sight of it, every living being would have fled. That I'm going to disagree with only on the basis that a Tyrannosaurus's main prey generally had ways to defend themselves. I mean, Edmontosaurus probably would have ran, but I have a sneaky suspicion that there were plenty of Triceratops and Ankylosaurs that did in fact stand on business and put up a bit of a fight. But, you know, it's still apex predator. I get you. No creature could have offered any resistance to it, except perhaps Triceratops with its powerful horns. Is Ankylosaurus a joke to you? Moreover, even if the fiercest wild animals we know today, tigers and lions, were to face this monster in combat, they would look like kittens compared to it. I mean, that's probably true. Also, I don't know, man. Those are the fiercest? Have you ever met a hippo? Hippos don't play. I could see a hippo squaring up with a Rex. Like, I don't see the hippo winning, but I definitely see, like, a bull hippo squaring up with a T-Rex, because hippos do not give a crap. The offensive weapons of this animal were all concentrated in its head, in its enormous jaw with its sharp dagger-like teeth. Well, they weren't really dagger-like, more shaped like bananas. However, it is fair to say that, yeah, the business when it comes to doing damage was all in the T-Rex's head. Like, its jaws were insanely powerful, and its teeth would have been sufficient to do what needed to be done. On its murderous hunts, it made very little use of its ridiculously small four legs. 4 legs? And not much more of its powerful hind legs, with its bird-like clawed feet. I'm sorry, you're calling the T-Rex's arms 4 legs? No, that is not the way I would phrase that. Those are arms. Granted, yeah, in terms of fighting, probably wouldn't have used the arms very much in the technical sense. As for the legs, I mean, it probably could have used its legs were pretty strong, so it could have kicked pretty hard, I would imagine, or stepped on an enemy to hold them down. Did you know that, ... the teeth of a Tyrannosaurus were 13 centimeters 5 inches long. To aid its digestion, this reptile, god dang it, swallowed large, smooth stones. So gizzard stones. We're going with that theory. That's been something of a debate. Some paleontologists think that some dinosaurs would have used gizzard stones, as modern birds do. Well, some species, not all. But it's not something that's 100% conclusive, and I've usually only seen that theory applied to herbivores, not carnivores. When at rest, it slept on its stomach. I mean, that's probably true. whatever. But yeah, it's definitely a dated viewpoint, but still fantastic art. Classic. Love it. No issues there. Oh man, an even more classic Chad T-Rex, except this one is even more lizardy. It's got like an iguana, like fleshy, dangly thing. I don't like that. I don't like that. Very muscular legs. Look at that. What the heck? That's a depiction. Absolutely. But yeah, another old school T-Rex. Corythosaurus! You're on 2 legs! Shame on you! Other than that, it's actually not bad. Not gonna lie. That's really my only issue. Well, that and the tail draggy thing. But that's to be expected. Oh, more text and Deinonychus. Okay, all right. Yep. We got a very colorful viewpoint of these animals, with the red head, but a different colored body, which is an interesting interpretation. I have nothing against it. Definitely unique. And a very good stance for them. I think the head is definitely angled a bit too high. Pronated wrists. The neck, they would have held that a bit more forward. But the tail is raised up. And yeah, they would have been swift and running. And we got text to read. What do we got? What are you giving me? A plant-eating dinosaur, some 20 feet, 6 meters long, plodded through the underbrush, making its... Actually, I think we're missing a page, because this is clearly not describing Deinonychus at all. So we're just gonna press on. Not bad depictions, though. Oh my goodness! Elasmosaurus specifically, a type of plesiosaur, and the snakiest snake neck around. Holy crap! Look at that! I'd read the text for you, but unfortunately, the only example of this particular image I found is super blurry, and I can't make heads or tails of it. I can only read Elasmosaurus, so we're just gonna press forward. Whoa, okay, that's interesting, and, I like it. I do. Okay, in terms of the brachiosaurs, heads are way too high. Should be further out. But I think the stance is the least of their concerns at the moment, because we got 2 tornadoes barreling straight towards them, and this is definitely something that I wish there was more art of, because, I mean, tornadoes definitely happened back when dinosaurs were on the planet. I mean, this is a thing that almost certainly occurred, and it would have been a deeply alarming situation for any animals in the vicinity, just as tornadoes still are for us today. So I applaud the idea of, well, frankly, depicting an act of nature and dinosaurs that isn't a frickin' erupting volcano. Because it's usually, you know, based on old school paleo art, or any paleo art, you'd think that erupting volcanoes were happening just every day, all the time, which is not true. They forget that, you know, it rained, there were thunderstorms, there was hail, it snowed, and also there were tornadoes, hurricanes, and things like that. There is room for this kind of art in the paleo art, field. So, definitely like this. Definitely enjoy it. That's an old school iguanodon, and I know that because we got the double thumb spikes. There are no thoughts in this animal's head, however. No thoughts, only leaves. No thoughts, only leaves. Forever. Oh, goodness! That's another old school iguanodon, even worse. We got the double thumb spikes, that's good, but it's a hunchback iguanodon. The tail is technically raised, but not enough. But the back, I think this creature is suffering, and it's a concern. It's doing me a lot of concerns at the moment. Brontosaurus with a very, very snaky and very draggy tail, and a very, very straight up high neck, like a brachiosaur. I mean, like a wrong brachiosaur, but even worse than I think the brachiosaurs that we saw before were even, what the heck? No, they would not have done that. I don't think they were physically capable of raising their necks that high. And Montosaurus, you're sitting I was going to be upset about it being on 2 legs, but I think this animal is just sitting on its tail. Like, just chilling, vibing, hanging out, relaxing. That one in the back, however, how dare you? Get on 4. You're supposed to be on 4s. The other 2 are okay, though. You look good. Look great. Yeah. Interesting art. Not bad. Nice shading. I like it. Also, get down on all 4s, coward. When I first saw this, I did not read the tiny text next to it, and I thought it was a Dimetrodon. A really weird one. But what a fool I was, because this animal is thankfully labeled. This is supposed to be a Spinosaurus. Are you kidding me? Guys! It's not even close. Honestly, like, the sail's too small, the head is just straight up a crocodile's head or an alligator, and all 4s, very skinny limbs, like, no. That is a whole lot of absolutely no. I really like this one. It's very cute. It's very cute. We got an Myasaur hunting in the background. In the foreground, we got the Stegosaur, a very round Stegosaur with very soft shading, and it's very, very adorable. I don't mind it. What I do mind are those, because they're too scary. You got all this nice soft shading. The volcanoes are too scary. Don't put them there. Why don't you add 2 tornadoes instead? That would be... Sorry, I can't even take that joke seriously. And last but certainly not least, this peak specimen, this absolute apex giga chad of the Tyrannosaurs. Look at this. He is posing, ready for his modeling career. We got a tripod stance, but a slightly raised tail. There we go. We got it. He's just strutting his stuff. Got that side model angle on the face there. That is a T-Rex. Also, no it isn't, but it's an old school T-Rex. And you know what? I'm here for it. Wow. Was most grotesque animal. Stegosaur, who lived in Utah ages ago, is a freak. Wow! First of all, rude. Second of all, I believe this particular line of dialogue could also be applied to the author's mother. So how about that? Oh man, we got some classic, really skinny nonsense over here. Sorry, I'm so distracted by the Tyrannosaur, who's looking, well, very contoured and moisturized, interesting, but also not having eaten in a while. That's a really skinny Tyrannosaur. Tripod stance, though, the tail is slightly elevated. Triceratops is not bothered. That is the most unbothered Triceratops I have seen in a while. It's just like, oh, another T-Rex. Yep, must be a Monday. Like, it just does not care about the fact that there is a very large predator, likely very hungry, rapidly approaching its position, spitting distance, in fact, just chilling, vibing, not at all concerned about the situation. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Don't ask me. It could be friggin' anything. But yeah, the art is nice. Like, I actually like it. It's just, it's old, but it's nice. I just such an unbothered Triceratops. I can't get over that. It just does not give a single amount of a crap about the T-Rex. Oh, speaking of old school T-Rex, this is peak. We got full tilt lizard scales and texture. And it just, wow, that is a classic classic T-Rex, without question. Definitely old, but man, I actually love it, honestly. Well, the art's great, again, but also, it just reeks of that old school, violently inaccurate stance with the Tyrannosaur. Erupting volcano in the background. Absolutely. Abso-friggin-lutely. And, pterosaur. Yep. Yeah, random pterosaur. We gotta have that too. That's very important. Very, very important. Okay, so this one, it troubles me because I'm not sure if there's actually a problem here. At face value, I mean, it's a Triceratops, and it's cut in half by the page fold, which is something that occurs on those double spread, book pages. I mean, that can happen. So I'm not, docking points for that. The horns are definitely a bit too short, and I think the frill needs to be a bit bigger too. Actually, the head in general probably needs to be bigger. But of course, it could also be shrunken because of the whole page spread issue. My main concern has to do with the front leg, which appears to be broken to me. I don't know if it's just the angle, but it seems like it's like out in that weird lizard crawl stance, which would be a bizarre choice, because the back legs look fine for the most part. What is the deal? I'm not sure what I'm looking at, and it bothers me. It bothers me a lot. Why does this keep happening? Seriously. Why do artists keep saying, at some point the T-Rex probably got hit right between the legs? Except this time it's not an ankylosaur, it's a trike. Just wham! Which, ow! Ow! There's an Myasaur in the background walking on two legs, which, first of all, no. Second of all, he's just what the heck is going on over there? That's wild. Yo. But yeah, I mean, the art is good in terms of the style. Definitely a lot of inaccuracies here. Tripod stance T-Rex. That trike is oddly shaped in such a weird way. But I just can't get over the fact it's just wham, take that, and the T-Rex is wow, rude. And then it remembers, right, I was about to eat you, so I suppose this is entirely justified. Oh. Oh, wow, we got a lot going on here. All right, so Carnivora versus Herbivora, the advance and rear guards of early carnage. Yo. All right, well, to begin with, these animals should not be in the same time period. I guess if you split the page in half, it would be fine, because Trike and T-Rex, and Stegosaur and Allosaur, I'm assuming. T-Rex versus Trike, I mean, the Trike is stabbing the Rex in the leg, which, yeah, that probably happened at some point. Multiple times, many times, to be brutally honest. The T-Rex doesn't seem very bothered by that, oddly enough. He's more concerned with what's going on with his buddy, the, Allosaur over here, because this Stegosaurus is standing on business right now. How hard did the Stegosaur hit the Allosaur? He flipped the Allosaur literally on his head. Yo! Stegosaur is not playing. And honestly, I am here for it. Stand your ground, you noble roof lizard. Fight for your life. Do not go quietly into the night. Just friggin' plow your Thagomizer right into the... God. Brutal. I love it. This art troubles me. Mostly because of the coloration decisions. Who decided that, alright, so, we only got red ink. So we're gonna make everything black and white except the dinosaurs. And they're all gonna be red. Why? Is it some kind of artistic decision? I mean, maybe. I don't know. This isn't, not... I mean, well, I guess it is visually distinctive. And maybe that's what they were going for. It's not really a big deal. I mean, they obviously were just going for a distinctive look, and they got it. They did get it. So, hey, whatever. But this page is friggin' hilarious, because, like, everything about it is wrong, and not just because of the age. There are some legitimate issues here that they really honestly should have known about. Dinosaurs were reptiles that lived millions of years ago. It's not a... It's... You know, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let it go, because we got more problems. The Stegosaurus is about 20 feet long, with a tiny head and great bony plates along its back. I can't tell with the Thagomizer if this is just supposed to be at an angle so it shows all four, or if this is another OP Stegosaur with like 8 spikes for the Thagomizer. Not a bad shape overall besides that particular odd issue. I think it is supposed to be slightly off-center at an angle, so I think that's right. So that's fine, because the plates are the same way. So we're going to let that one go. The Diplodocus was nearly 90 feet long. It had a very small brain and was clumsy and stupid. Wow! Rude! Listen, you don't... judging the intelligence of dinosaurs is a common theme when it comes to a lot of paleo stuff, and I think it's a little unfair to just assume that Diplodocus was stupid and clumsy. Clumsy? They were not clumsy, okay? They wouldn't have lived very long if they were clumsy. As for the shape, head's probably a bit too high. Wouldn't have raised their heads that high. Or nor would they have looked back at that particular angle. Tail's too low. Should be held a bit up and out, but it doesn't appear to be being dragged, so that's good. The Triceratops had 3 horns and thick bony armor. Bony armor? I mean, I guess the frill is partially made of bone, so I guess that's accurate, but still not the way I would have described that. Shrike's looking fine, I guess. You know, little doopy, but you know, as far as we're concerned on this page, the author's just like, oh, dinosaurs are so dumb, so dumb. The Tyrannosaurus was the largest meat-eating animal that ever lived on land. That is hilariously outdated, though they were still in the upper top 5, and then they probably were the most powerful in terms of sheer bulk. But anyway, this Tyrannosaur troubles me deeply for multiple reasons. Old school tripod stance, you knew that. I knew that, that's fair. It's the little arms. And not the fact that they're little. I mean, that's fine. What's with the fingers and the claw? Like, why? How many fingers does this Tyrannosaur have? Something is off here, and I need it to be addressed immediately. Also, you're trying to portray the T-Rex as large, but the way you've done it has made this particular Rex look astonishingly tiny compared to everything else around him. I know this isn't supposed to be to scale, but it's a little underwhelming when you got all these other dinosaurs, and then you're like, the largest meat-eater ever walked on land, like this tiny thing shoved down in the corner. Speaking of corners, we have frickin' Dimetrodon. Hi, you're not a dinosaur! What are you doing here? Why do you always feel the need to... You're not invited to this party, okay? I'm sorry. We didn't send you an invite. You can't just show up whenever you want. Sail-backed reptiles all had sails on their backs. Really? Why? Redundancies. Nearly 3 feet high. That varies. And not a dinosaur. Not a dinosaur. Also, not a dinosaur. All of these who are also here. The ichthyosaur lived in the water, but could not stay under long as it breathed air like a land animal. Well, long is a relative term. I mean, dolphins, for example, need to breathe air like a normal land animal, but they can hold their breath for a very, very, very long time. So it's likely that the ichthyosaurs probably could hold their breath a pretty decent amount of time. So, yeah. The plesiosaur lived in the sea, but laid its eggs on land. That is a hilariously outdated opinion of them. They were not sea turtles. They probably didn't do that. Also, wow, that neck. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The pteranodon was a flying reptile. Well, at least you got that part right. With a 13-foot wingspan. Or wingspread. Wingspread? Okay. Odd phrasing, whatever. I mean, yeah, I guess that's fine, but why are they on the page with dinosaurs? Why is Dimetrodon on the page with dinosaurs? Tell me! Tell me! But then again, this is the same author who's like, the platypus is dumb! He's a dumb animal! Okay. There's only one dumb animal involved in this entire situation. It isn't anything on this page, nor is it me. So let's do process of elimination. Yeah. Well, we can play that game, bro. We can do that. Okay, this is neat. We got two different sailbacked actual dinosaurs here. The one in the background is supposed to be Spinosaurus, looking... You know, I don't even care. Spinosaurus is different every time I see it. I don't even care. It's an old school depiction. You knew that. I knew that. I will give it this, though. It's got the raised tail. It's not tripod stancy, which is nice. I like that. So, I mean, at least it's looking a little bit more in line with how they probably would have walked on land. Ouranosaurus over here, though, as raising me some concerns. Well, I mean, I guess it's not super off. It's really down to the sail, because it's still debated whether or not Ouranosaurus even had a sail in the technical sense. Now, it does have a raised spinal bones, like Spinosaurus does, but they're not as raised as Spinosaurus to begin with. Following that, some still think and hotly debate whether or not that was for a sail or for some kind of hump or something of that nature. This depiction's obviously going with the sail. I'm pretty sure it's a bit too big, but whatever. I guess they just wanted to have two of these sailbacks on the same page, because, you know, sails and... I don't know, they're pirates now or whatever. Once again, Stegosaurus! Unleashing absolute violence upon your enemies! Don't give them an inch! Beat the tar out of them! Show them the superiority of your evolutionary might! You don't need a big head! You need spikes on your friggin' tail! And they're gonna eat those if they want to eat something. Right in the friggin' face! Do it! Do it! Absolutely! This one is just, I'm not sure what's being depicted here. These two are just having a moment. You know, it's kind of sweet. They're just like, just comforting each other. They're both going through a hard time, but they're just like, we can get through this together. It's all gonna be okay. Man, those legs are not in the right position, though. Someone needs to fix that. Oh, goodness! Dimetrodon, hello, you scared me. And, honestly, not a bad depiction of them. Not sure why it's going in the water, but, you know, maybe they went for a swim. You don't know. Maybe he's hot. Wants to cool off. That's fine. And, this one doesn't just have Dimetrodon, because every time they have these little sailback not dinosaurs, they like to just use Dimetrodon, and that's fine, but they weren't the only ones with the sailback. In the back we had a Dilophosaurus, which was a herbivorous sailback. And according to this page, the sail on the back acted as a heat exchanger. Thermoregulation is definitely one of the major prevailing theories regarding its purpose, but, as I repeatedly stated, we have no friggin' idea what the sail was for. We still don't, and we might never know. We're not really sure, but given both of these two, which inhabited the same environment, had it, it must have had some kind of universal purpose for both of them. As for what that would have been, yeah, guesswork and whatnot. But, yeah, it's just nice to see a Dilophosaurus just hanging out, just chilling, just vibing. Not at all bothered by the fact that the major predator in the region is, like, right there. But, hey, he's a bit busy going for a swimmy swim. So maybe it's no problem. This one's very sad. Not only are we looking at the presumed death of, babies. I don't like that. It happened. It's nature. That's a thing that occurs. I don't like it. I don't like talking about dead babies. I don't do it. All right? It's just not something I like. It bothers me. But what really bothers me is the fact that the mother dinosaur, isn't even trying to do anything about this. Needs to take some lessons from the stegosaurs from this very video. Because I don't see any injuries on this individual. They're just like lying down and are just like accepting that this is the case now. Like, yo, stand up and fight him. Like if you're gonna go out swinging. Do something. Your children are depending on you, you coward. Whoa, more not dinosaurs! Hooray! And there's no actual dinosaurs around here, which means it's probably fine. We got Dimetrodon right in the middle. We got a Dilophosaurus right down here, so that's all right. What are you two? I mean, I have some guesses, but none of them exactly fit. There's some inaccuracies going on, as far as I'm able to tell. Because you're obviously not the other two, because you lack sails. You are an amphibian, I think. You are scary. Stop looking at me like that, okay? Just stop it. Looky, a lizard. A nondescript, non-offensive lizard. I have no idea what possible species it could be, but it's definitely a lizard. And to close us out, we have half of a very large page featuring many animals that, given the fact there's numbers here, I'm willing to guess are labeled in their original form, but I don't have access to the original form, so I'm going to have to guess on what everything is. We have a pteranodon up here, so that was easy. That was easy too. On all fours, looking all right. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good one. These two, I'm not sure because they look almost the same. I want to say at least one of them is probably Edmontosaurus. As for the other one, I mean, I'm not sure what the other one would be. What I know is that neither of them should be walking around on just two legs. Get down! That's not normal for you. Look at Parallelophoros right here. She's doing it right. You're doing it wrong. Hey, look, a baby tracer? That's cute. That's very sweet. Trike's looking all right. Not bad. Not bad. Some minor nitpicks. Why is the back so straight right here? I think there was some compromise when it came to the shape there. It should be more rounded. Outside of that glaring issue, it's not bad. You guys look okay. You guys looking good. Look at another baby. What's not okay is, holy crap! I think that's supposed to be a velociraptor. And if it is, awesome, because that's about the right size. No feathers, but this is pretty old. So that might be before they realized that they should have feathers. So that's fair. Minus that issue, I mean, that's a pretty serviceable velociraptor leaping and jumping at prey. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. You know what this is missing, though? Erupting volcano. You have all these dinosaurs, all this wide area. Something needs to be exploding. That's what happens back then, right? That's normal, huh? That was normal. There's no erupting volcanoes. How dare you? How dare you omit the erupting volcano? Ezegna? If that is your real name. Oh no! Oh no, he's stepping! He's stepping on you! I don't even understand how this is like an attack. Like, what's he doing? He's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm putting my foot down. Dang it, Timmy! Stop misbehaving. The foot is coming down. Like that's all I got from this. Oh yes, assert your dominance, Tyrannosaurus. You are the king of these lands. Also, sorry for the blurry art. This is the highest resolution I could find, and of course, by that I mean not high at all. But it's very nice. It's very nice. Very good depiction, actually. Tail raised. It's awesome. I really like it. Although this is probably gonna result in some people being like, Tyrannosaurus didn't roar. Actually, we don't know what Tyrannosaurus sounded like because those quote-unquote scientific versions of what Tyrannosaurus sounded like, yeah, those aren't scientific in any way. Not backed by actual paleontologists. We don't know how they could have sounded. They could have roared. It is just as likely that this was the case. So, hey, maybe, and follow me on this, don't actually get all your information from your social media feed and actually read something like a scientific paper on some subjects that may interest you. I'm trying to do my best here, but it's kind of hard for me, one man, to go up against the entire mass social media industry, but I'm gonna keep up the good fight. Rawr. Oh, that's a classic, Rex. That's a great one. I like the colors, actually. We got a reddish head and some red in the body, but it's like a mix of yellows and greens, and it's nice to see some variation in the overall color morph when it comes to dinosaurs, because usually people will just go with one solid color, but this artist decided, you know what, no, maybe they were really pretty. T-Rex could have just been made of rainbows. You don't know. You can assume nothing. On one hand, you may want to say, what a very nice Dimetrodon. And that would be really great to say, except this is supposed to be a Spinosaurus. That's not even the right skull. You know that. I know that. We've been over this so many times before. But, man, the Spinosaurus... The only thing anyone agrees on is that it had a big fin. That's all we got. Ooh, that's not a dinosaur. Yeah, I decided to throw in some prehistoric mammals. Why not? We got a woolly rhino. Looking really good. That's a good looking woolly rhino. It's a rhino that's woolly. And to be honest, most of the, prehistoric mammal art is usually alright. There really is very little to complain about. Probably because, A, the remains are much more recent, and some of them are very well preserved to the point of being frozen. We can straight up see, like, even with, like, actual soft tissue. But also, we have a modern comparison. I mean, we found the remains of the woolly rhino. We're like, isn't this just a rhinoceros? Oh, but it was woolly. Just how we know that. So, as a result, it's a lot harder for artists' interpretations to get crazy. See, it's funny. This is obviously, there's a Stegosaurus in the background. That's a Stegosaurus down there, too. But this is not supposed to be an Allosaurus. It was titled Tyrannosaurus. And for the last time, the T-Rex is closer to us in the overall time stream than it was to Stegosaurus, even if that weren't a problem. It's the hands that bother me, because you might say, well, let's just say it's an Allosaurus, and then it's fine. No. Why are there 4 digits? Oh, he's just chilling. And Gorgo's looking angry over there off the page, but Antrodemus, I'm not even sure he knows what's going on. He looks tired. Like, he's just like, I don't even want to hunt today. Okay, can we not? I need a nap. Like, that's the interpretation he's given me. Oh, man! 2 thumbs up! It's an old school iguanodon. Another one of those hunchback interpretations. Why? Was that a phase that they went through? Where the artists were like, yeah, I think the back should look very painful. I think they should always look like they're suffering horribly just for having the nerve to exist. I don't know why that was a fixation. Because it doesn't really... How are they even standing up? Well, I guess maybe the tail weighs them down, but no, that's not how this works. But we still got the double thumb spikes, and that is right. You know, like, for all the other problems, generally speaking, once it was realized that, oh, the spike doesn't go on their nose, artists are pretty consistent about adding a double thumb spike, which is very good, because, frankly, if it didn't have the double thumb spike, I wouldn't have a clue what that was. It is only because of those thumbs that I know it's Iguanodon. Oh lord, he coming! This is a puzzle, I know, but I'm pretty sure it's just using some old paleo-art they probably found on Google image search, which is exactly where I found all these pieces of old paleo-art too, so I really can't judge. Anyway, yeah, those hadrosaurs are in some trouble. They running. Again, we have 4 fingers on this Rex. Why do they keep doing that? That's never been something that was even really considered on a serious manner, and he's all hunched over too. Hadrosaurs are also very, very, very skinny. Like skin and bones. This is a weird one for me. Water looks nice though. See, I don't always look for stegosaurs that are locked in Mortal Kombat or something. On occasion, I like to see one with no thoughts, only leaves. And in the background we have an apatosaur with no thoughts, only leaves. Nice. Ooh, a herd of Myasaur. I'm not even sure how old this is because it looks really modern, but very, very, very nice. I love this one, and it's incredibly accurate. They're on all 4s, which, thank you for that. Finally, someone gets it. Also, Myasaurs likely lived in large family groups. They were known for rearing their young as well, which is why the name means good mother lizard. So, yeah, no, this is great. This is a fantastic piece. Love it. I like this one because it looks like this Rex is, like, almost embarrassed. Like he's sneaking away after doing something that was just really awkward. Like, I should not have done that. I'm just gonna remove myself from the situation and go on with my life and hopefully never have to revisit it ever again. Those are the vibes I'm getting from this tippy-toe T-Rex. And hey, we've all been there. This one made me mad. Oh, not because it's not nice, but because... Okay, honestly, I would have assumed that was an apatosaur or diplodocus or something not a brachiosaur if it didn't say brachiosaur. Because what's with the neck? Brachiosaurs have their neck angled very upwards. This one is out like an apatosaur, but raising it up like a brachiosaur. Another frustrating element is the brachiosaurs in the background look pretty good, so what's the deal with you, foreground brachiosaur? I don't get it. You know what else bothers me? Why do the reeds look like carrots? That was my first thought when I saw them. I know they're based off of an actual prehistoric plant, but they look like giant carrots. Is it just me? You can't tell me they don't. I mean, come on now. Ah, majestic, a classic tripod T-Rex. This is the kind of T-Rex you drew when you were in grade school, wasn't it? Admit it. Admit it. We've all been there. Green body, light underbelly, tail dragging on the ground like a dope. But hey, that's a T-Rex. Not really, but it's you get it. I get it. You get it. It's fine. It's great. Phenomenal. Flowers. So, you know, he appreciates the gardening aspect of life, I suppose. Yet another one with prehistoric mammals. I think these are supposed to be dire wolves. Not sure what the other one is off the top of my head. But whatever it is standing on business. Dire wolves are like, okay, we've made a mistake. That one actually might just be about to get crushed. Like, they are not playing around today. No one's getting eaten, but someone is getting stepped on. Oviraptor. Its fossil skeleton was found on a pile of dinosaur eggs in Mongolia. Okay, couple things about this one. First of all, if you hadn't said that was an oviraptor, I would never have guessed that, nor would I have even assumed it was a dinosaur. What is that? This might belong on a curse list. Like, yo, it's not even close. Also, if this is the oviraptor I'm thinking it is, then this is an insult. Because while it was thought that the oviraptor was an egg thief because it was found on a pile of dinosaur eggs, it's now believed that that same oviraptor was not stealing any eggs. That oviraptor was the mother, guarding, protecting her eggs. She was falsely accused of stealing her own babies. She was just being a good parent. Who were the real monsters here, people? It's man. Now, I have been over this before, but I'll go over it again, because some people may think I get upset whenever I see a Smilodon with tiger stripes, because people call it a saber-toothed tiger. Even though they weren't that closely related to tigers, you should call them saber-toothed cats. Of course, when I told people this, even though I was saying nothing but facts, people got really mad at me, as if I'd offended them deeply on a personal level. Like, how dare you say that? We're gonna call them whatever we want, even though it's wrong. And you know what? That's fine. Also, you know, if you're happy just being wrong, then that's great. But based on all of this, you might think that it frustrates me whenever I see a Smilodon with tiger stripes. No, because there's no argument against it having those stripes on the basis we don't know what their coat pattern was. We have no idea. So it could really be anything. I would even argue that it might be very likely they had stripes of some kind purely because of the environment they lived in. They didn't really dwell in forests necessarily. They hunted in fields with tall grass, tall tan grass, much like tigers actually do. Tigers have stripes to blend in with that tall grass. So, a proper camouflage coat pattern, an effective one, could be stripes on a Smilodon. Like, that could have worked. So, it's not outside the realm of possibility that that's what they look like. So, it's no problem. It doesn't mean they're any more closely related to tigers, because of a bunch of other factors like skeletal structure and things like that. But the coat pattern's up in the air. So, this is a nice piece. I like it. Oh, this is cute. This is actually really cute. I love it. Look at the babies. Look at the baby Rexes. That one's playing with his mother's tail. Okay, that's just, it's sweet. It's sweet. It's very sweet. Got some issues in the background. Maybe that's the dad going hunting. gonna get one of these animals. Not sure which one. He's gonna get them, because the babies need to eat. I'm not sure what the artist would call this piece. But, if it were me, I would refer to it as mistakes were made. Because clearly this theropod, I think it's a Rex, or supposed to be, has not engaged in this particular hunting behavior in a particularly effective manner. He is about to get run over. I guess this was not a good idea, and he does seem to be turning around immediately, because wow, no, and that's fair. That is very fair. Hello, Dimetrodon. This is from 1902, apparently, and it gave Dimetrodon an overall accurate appearance, except for the snaky tail. I'm not sure their tails would have ever been able to be that flexible. But to be honest, outside of that, it actually isn't bad, especially for 1902 standards. Speaking of early paleo-art standards, here we have the opposite end of that spectrum, with an astonishingly large ichthyosaur versus a very, very tiny plesiosaur, both out of the water on a beach. Don't think that's accurate at all. You know, looking at that tail, maybe that's supposed to be a mosasaur. But I mean, with early paleo-art, it could be anything. Like, honestly, I don't even care. But yeah, not supposed to be out of the water, basically ever. And I'm not even sure why they'd fight in this situation. Like, you're both at a crippling disadvantage. If they were even able to move out of the water at all, which they probably couldn't. And I know I'm ignoring the plesiosaur's snaky neck, because that's par for the course. I'd be shocked and amazed if there was a piece of actual old paleo art that didn't make the plesiosaur look like it had a snake head. Like, they always did that. You know that. Come on. This is not old art. But it is based off of old art, and it is awesome. Okay, wish I knew the artist's name, but this is supposed to be a Victorian-style Jurassic Park. Hence, what I think is an old-school depiction of Megalosaurus, and an overturned horse-drawn carriage with the top hat and the lantern. Like, okay, look. Regardless of what happens with the new Jurassic World movie, I think it would be a great idea for some kind of alternate universe miniseries or standalone short or something to actually make this, like, a thing, you know, as an animation or something. 'Cause this is a really cool idea. And use actual older depictions of dinosaurs as the dinosaurs in the short. Like, you know, make them intentionally inaccurate based off of what scientists used to think to go along with everything. I'd watch it. It's a cool idea. I like it. I like it a lot.
Hey, get off my rock. No! This is my rock. Mine alone. No one else's, especially not yours, Jeff. You're always so mean, Steve.
Oh, this is a great one. I love it when I see dinosaurs in snow. Mostly because even to this day, people still keep saying that dinosaurs couldn't be in snow. And that snow didn't even exist because the earth was too hot. And, you're wrong on both counts. And it annoys me that people don't bother to actually know things and assume they know everything and just post it. They just post their thoughts like, this is what I think. This is and they state, but they don't state it as this is what I think. They state it as this is a fact. As it, dinosaurs couldn't be in snow. Dinosaurs couldn't be in snow. That's ridiculous. No, yeah, they actually could. They handled it a lot better than you think. Like, way better. Some even live their whole lives in relatively cold environments. And this is a very nice piece illustrating that. So thank you, artist. Thank you for that. And last, but certainly not least, we have the noble, humble ground sloth. With, of course, no thoughts, only leaves. Just like a true sloth. There's a nice piece. Here, starting off with a good one. We got Tyrannosaurs, we got a pterodon in the background, and we got not only a ridiculously unnecessary erupting volcano in the background, but a tiny baby erupting volcano right here. I don't know why that's there. I don't know why every single artist is like, yes, volcanoes! But hey, we come to expect it by this point. Tyrannosaur tripod stance, but old school, classic. We like it. We like it. It's all good. Oh! Oh! This I like a lot! We got not only Gorgosaurus, but Corythosaurus and Parasaurolophus, which I always have to say slowly so I don't just run the letters together like a fool. And they're swimming. Not the Gorgosaurus, the other two. And this is very interesting, because not only is it just distinctive because it shows these animals swimming, but, you know, they probably could have done this if they wanted to, if they were put in a situation where that was necessary. How good would they have been at swimming? It's hard to say, but it is thought that theropods could swim. So, like, I could imagine the hadrosaurs could do that too. They got 4 limbs. I mean, they probably could have been pretty good at it in theory. I don't know how long they could hold their breath, or if they would use that as an evasion tactic, but that's what they're doing here. And the art's very nice. It's pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot. It stands out. But I'm sure you want me to read the text. Let's do this. Here comes the danger. Just here comes danger. The danger is Gorgosaurus, a giant hunter. He belongs to the family of old Allosaurus. But he is larger still, and he is hungry most of the time. How do you know? Are you saying he's fat? Corythosaurus, the helmet lizard, and Parasaurolophus, like a crested lizard. See their danger. They race for the water. Out they splash, deeper and deeper. As they swim on the surface, they take deep breaths. They fill their hollow skulls with air, and down they go to the bottom. That is a good way to escape dangers on the shore, and it also gets them more succulent plants. I don't think... wait. That might have been an old theory. I'm not too familiar with that one. I don't think that is something that is believed to have been the case. The hollow points in their skulls are actually supposed to be for vocalization, as has been proven by testing Parasaurolophus. We know what they even sounded like. In terms of filling them with air to hold their breath longer, I don't think that was a thing. That's not true. But they probably could have swam, and even dove. So, I don't think they could have done it for very long. Not nearly in the manner that this text is suggesting, but they could have done it. I would be comfortable admitting that. Behold, the last dinosaur standing. T-Rex versus Triceratops. There can be only one! Another one of these classic ones. But with quite a number of errors. But this is a very old one, and I know this because we have an Anatosaurus on here. Anatosaurus is an outdated name for Edmontosaurus. So, this must be a pretty old piece. Also, Pachycephalosaurus in the background looking way too friggin' big. And Brachiosaurus being here at all is a little outside the realm of the time stream. That wouldn't have been possible. They were Jurassic, the other two are Cretaceous. So yeah, not really making sense. Got a little baby though. That's cute. Edmontosaurus also standing on 2 legs. No! How dare you? And Brachy's neck a bit too upwards and standing in the water, which also, no, not really. But that's read the text. I'm sure you want me to. There's quite a bit, but the heck with it. Let's go with it. Pachycephalosaurus was a herbivorous dinosaur that had a cap of bone 5 centimeters thick covering the top of its skull. This was probably to protect the brain when rival males charged one another in mating battles. that is one theory for what the skull was probably used for. They likely would have also used it for defense, for ramming enemies if they wanted to do that, or simply ran away. But yes, it is believed that that would have been probably accurate. Some paleontologists are arguing that no, that wasn't the case, but most evidence points to it being the case, and I think they're just trying to be negative Nancy's about it. So that's just me. Anatosaurus was a duck-billed dinosaur, Edmontosaurus, but okay. With rather a flat, low skull. Like the sauropods, the duck-billed dinosaurs have caused arguments among scientists about whether they lived on land or in the water. Probably on land, actually. I mean, they probably could have swam, but they would not have dwelled there exclusively. Some mummified skeletons of duckbills seem to have a fold of skin between the fingers, but this may have originally been solid flesh rather than being a thin web for swimming. Also, though they had a powerful tail, it seems to have been too stiff to be used for swimming. In any case, its toes ended in little hooves, which are normally found only in animals that run quickly on hard ground. And yeah, that's actually a fairly accurate interpretation of them. I don't mind that bit of text beyond the wrong genus, but that's just an outdated term, so it's not really their fault. Brachiosaurus was the largest sauropod. No, it wasn't. It was up there, but not the largest, and was the biggest land animal known. Also, no, it wasn't. It towered 12 meters into the air, so that it could look over a 2-story house. And it was 23 meters long and weighed 80 tons, as much as 16 elephants. Brachiosaurus is one of the dinosaurs that helps to prove that all the continents were once grouped together, for it is found in both North America and Africa. I believe Africa's brachys are known as Giraffatitan, though. And it does even mention that they were Jurassic right here in the text. Sauropod Jurassic. The other two are
Why are they in the same picture then? Make it make sense!
Sauropods in general were common herbivores in the Jurassic period, but much less so in the Cretaceous. That's actually also accurate. Sauropods were on the way out into the Cretaceous. There weren't that many of them left, for one reason or another. There were some, and some of them were incredibly large, but there really weren't that many as there once were. Granted, it is also worth mentioning, despite a lot of the Cretaceous dinosaurs being larger, like T-Rex, there were less overall species in the Cretaceous. Jurassic was when the dinosaurs were most prevalent, and they were starting to dwindle a little bit by the Cretaceous, although they were pretty much mostly snuffed out, non-avians anyway, by the great meteor that just slammed into the earth and destroyed everything, like God saying no more. Whoa! Brutal! Okay, that's a thing. We got some gore, some real dark stuff, yeah. I appreciate this picture, both for its relative inaccuracy, but also how unbothered the other Camarasaurus is by the fact that his friend is getting his head bitten off. He's just like, yeah, that happens every day. Sorry, Gary. You suck, Carl. Like, are you kidding me? He's just like, yep. No thoughts, only, well, reeds, because they have them in the water again. We also have Pterodactylus over here. That's nice. I think this might even be from the same book as the last one. It looks like it could be. Same text, anyway. We'll read this again. I'm sure you want me to. Ceratosaurus was a relative of Allosaurus, but it had bony projections near its eyes and on its nose. It was only 5.5 meters long, only half the size of Allosaurus, so it must have hunted for smaller animals. These carnivores probably gorged themselves when they made a kill, and then rested for several days before they went hunting again. Pterodactylus was not a dinosaur. Thank you. Thank you so much. But it belonged to the group of flying reptiles called pterosaurs. Instead of feathers, they had leathery, bat-like wings. Some were covered with fine hair, pycnofibers specifically. Pterodactylus was the size of a blackbird and fed on insects. That's possible. I mean, they were smaller ones, so they probably ate bugs. That's probably true. Camarasaurus was one of the great four-footed herbivorous dinosaurs called sauropods. The sauropods were the largest land animals ever to have existed. Well, in general, yes, that is fair to say. And they had many adaptations to lighten their skeletons and to support their great weight. For example, the sides of the bones of the vertebral column were excavated to make them lighter, but the limb bones were very solid so that they did not break under the weight. Sauropods must have moved rather ponderously, but their limbs were so long that they could probably nevertheless move quite fast. The adult Camarasaurus was 18 meters long, but young ones only 5 meters long have also been found. Actually, not bad. Not bad. Overall, not gonna lie. There's some inaccuracies, but nothing too egregious so far, at least when it comes to this page. I mean, that's okay. Oh boy! Here we go again! Classic T-Rex tripod stance, looking at some gallimimuses. Or Theomimuses, probably. Actually, that would be more accurate. And an erupting volcano. Yes! Absolutely. Of course there is. I have questions about this one. I have many, many, many questions about this one. A, how in the world did the Rex get its hands, its grubby little mitts, on a plesiosaur? How did that happen? How in the world did he manage to pull that off? Second question, how did he pull this off in a swamp? Plesiosaurs dwelled in salt water. Why would this is not a situation where, what is the plesiosaur doing here? So many questions. I don't understand. This one's kind of funny, mostly because it illustrates a Triceratops using what I can only imagine are hit-and-run tactics, because we see blood on one of its horns, and we see that the Rex has a leg wound. But clearly that was not enough to dissuade the Rex, because the Rex is just hopping mad now, and is still chasing down the Triceratops. Large claws on that Rex. I think those are a bit too big. Interesting coloration, though. Yellow and blue on the back. That's very colorful. I think that might be a bit too colorful for a predator, but I like the distinction. Green for the Triceratops. It looks distinctive. I don't mind it. I don't mind it so much. I just think it's kind of funny. Like, I've hit you. Excellent. Are you gonna give up on eating me now? No. Oh. Mistakes have been made. Oh, so this is supposed to be what happened right before that last image. It's even hitting in the same spot. I think it's the wrong horn, though. It's very close. And yeah, this is a pretty accurate representation of how this interactions would sometimes go. I mean, the Rex, the Trikes would be able to fight back against a Rex. A Rex was designed to hunt them, and definitely did hunt them, but, you know, the Trike isn't just going to lay down and get eaten. They're going to fight back, and I'm sure there was plenty of Rex that took a horn straight to the leg. As is a pencil sketch of a plesiosaur on the surface with a snaky neck, and he's got a stick. Come get the stick. Bring the stick. Bring the stick back. Bring the stick, Nessie. Come on, Nessie. Bring the stick. Bring the stick, boy. Come on. Also, now that I mentioned Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster, not a thing. Not a thing. And the original photo of it was proven to be a fraud. It was a bathtub toy. Not real. I just thought I'd mention that. And if there is something in there, it's definitely not a plesiosaur. But given the original photo is fake, I think the whole thing is pretty fake. Pretty fake. Oh, it's rare with paleo art that I get to talk about people, but this is fairly accurate. Ancient humans would have, at some points, hunted mammoths. That would have happened. We have been falsely accused of hunting them to extinction. However, this has been recently proven to be somewhat false. I mean, we certainly didn't help, but there weren't enough of us to drive an entire species to extinction in those times. Additionally, the mammoths were already having problems even before we showed up. They were on a steep decline, and would have gone extinct either way, unfortunately. Ah! What the the heck am I looking? Am I the only one who finds this scary? Like, this is a freaking horror show. Who the heck drew this, and why are they a maniac? We have a lot of old school renditions of pterosaurs, and ichthyosaurs, and plesiosaurs, and something in the background that I can only describe as the frickin' Leviathan. Okay, dated viewpoints, and going out of their way to be scary as all heck. This is a picture out of somebody's nightmares, and I get it. I do. I think it's the eyes. It's the dark tones, but also the eyes. Like, what the heck is that? That's terrifying. Stop it. Ah! Why do they always make everything so scary around here? We have a pterosaur hunting insects. We have an ichthyosaur just hanging out, just vibing. He don't even know what's going on. And a plesiosaur grabbing a pterosaur out of the air, which would be pretty impressive if it ever happened. Again, very dated viewpoint. Not quite as scary as the last one, but... I'm sorry, I'm just so focused on the ichthyosaur. He really just has no idea what's going on around him and has no cares in the world. Just all vibes. I kind of jealous that he's this unbothered, not gonna lie. Oh, that's a unique situation. I'm not sure a pterosaur could even flap or fly and maintain airborne in this manner. Their wings didn't work like a bird's wing. I don't think they could maintain lift like this or claw at a theropod like this. I don't think this was possible. Well, I mean, I suppose if you interpret this as the pterosaur falling out of the sky, it's a bit more realistic, but still, not the way they would have taken this fight. Honestly, they probably wouldn't have taken this fight. They probably would have just flown away. Now, what is that? Tell me what that is. I don't know what that is. I believe it's supposed to be an old school pterosaur. Not even close. Not even... I can't even call that a dragon. What the heck is that? I don't know. I don't get that one. No. This one bothers me too. We got some... Well, I was about to say Japanese, but that could be Korean or Chinese too. I'm not well versed in their languages to the point of being able to recognize the difference. We're going to focus on the image of what I think is supposed to be a plesiosaur. What's with the weird fins? What's with the cut-off tail? And what's with the lumpy back? These are questions I am never ever going to get answers to. I know. But they're questions nonetheless. Yo! How did you... Okay, now we have a Dilophosaurus pulling a plesiosaur out of the water. How did you pull that off? Granted, the plesiosaur has a pretty straight neck, bent way too upwards, but I mean it is being ripped to shreds, so I suppose that's understandable that it would be bent the wrong way, but I just need to know how the Dilophosaurus even did this. This one perplexed me. Not because anything's wholly inaccurate. Those are allosaurs. That's a Diplodocus. Some pterosaurs flying overhead, but it doesn't even look like the allosaurs are hunting the Diplodocus. Like, they're all just hanging out. Just walking. Just like, yeah, we're not fighting today. We're on a walk, headed to... You know what? There's a watering hole over there. I just noticed that in the background. I didn't see that when I found this image earlier. I think this is supposed to be, prey and carnivore relations where it's like, this is the watering hole. We don't try to murder each other here. And that is something that has been sort of observed in nature to a degree. It's not always accurate, but it is sometimes pretty accurate. It depends on what predator we're talking about. Because obviously something like a crocodile doesn't care if it's the watering hole. Because it's where they friggin' live and ambush you. But a lot of land-based predators have been known to not hunt around the watering holes. Likely because they know that there's crocodiles there and they don't want to deal with that issue while they're also trying to hunt Acrocanthosaurus. Not even really present. I don't even know how those feet are supposed to work. Dragging the tail, yeah, tripod stance, we know that. I don't know how this animal was ever meant to function. It doesn't. This is peak slow, dumpy, stupid lizard energy to me. is what I'm getting from it. Which in the past, yeah, a lot of people thought that about dinosaurs. And last, but certainly not least, this is not very old. But I still found it, and I thought it was too good not to share it. Because look at this! This majestic sketch is absolutely peak! Triceratops versus T-Rex. We got 2 Rexes! Triceratops is gonna stand on business! Everything looking pretty friggin' accurate, honestly. Not bad at all. The opposite. It looks great. Phenomenal. I love it. Just a fantastic illustration.
Oh, that's a nice piece, actually. I really don't have anything bad to say about it. It's very well done. Even the Dimetrodon looking pretty good in the foreground, as well as their prey in the background. Yes, but I like it. I like the draw distance. I like pretty much everything. Yeah. No. Full marks. Well done. Okay, no, this is funny because I feel like that one, the one at the bottom's just, he's just a bit extra. Brothers, I call upon you from the water, the spirit of the ocean. Oh God, guys, Gary's at it again. Brothers, join me. No thoughts, only reeds. Gary, just get out of the water, man. Never. You know, this one amused me, not because it's ridiculous. I mean, that's part of it. But what really got me was, I found this one on Facebook, and in the comments for this particular one, no one knows what this is supposed to be. People were throwing around different ideas, like, well, maybe it's this one. No, maybe it's supposed to be this, this or that. No one knows what species Alice B. Woodward was actually going for. I'm gonna guess it's some kind of stegosaurid, but she got pretty extra with the spikes, I think, and the plates. Just everything is a lot. There's a lot going on here. There's definitely a lot. Oh, look, he's sleeping. Shh! Don't wake the baby. He night. Don't wake him up. He'll murder you if you do that. Rah! 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 Ooh, okay. This is a really cool one. I like the predator-prey relationship, but I think what makes this one stand out is the almost surrealist art style we got going on here. Because it's one of those, I think it's watercolor. I want to say it's watercolor. I could be wrong, though. But it's almost like in a dream, vague state where there's enough detail where you know what this is supposed to be, but not so much that you get a clear picture of everything. And I really dig that unique style. It's the kind of stuff we don't get a lot of in paleo art, but I wish there was, because it's definitely distinctive. Very nice. Wait a minute. This is the extreme dinosaurs.
The extreme dinosaurs! Extreme dinosaurs!
Man, I'm not even sorry for liking that show. It's ridiculous, but I love that show. It's so dumb. Magnificently dumb. Oh, he's a tall boy, is he? Alright, yeah. Yeah, that's a tripod T-Rex. Absolutely. It wouldn't be an old paleo art list without at least one full, top tier, standing way higher than they should be, tripod T-Rex. But that's exactly what that is. Oh, a double page spread. There we go. We got a turtle in a very unfortunate situation. We got, I think that's a sauropod sleeping? Maybe it's not a sauropod. I don't know what that is. Stegosaurus there. And is that a... I'm sorry, is that a Dilophosaurus? Because if the Stegosaurus... Okay, no one knows what's going on. There's an erupting volcano in the background! Because of course there is. I don't know what you expected. There always has to be at least one of those somewhere. But I would be remiss if I did not actually read the text to you. What were the dinosaurs? The mighty dinosaurs first appeared on Earth about 220 million years ago. They were reptiles. Okay, everyone gets on my case about this, because I get annoyed when people call dinosaurs that, but then people are like, well, they actually are. And I'm like, okay, saying a dinosaur is a reptile is like saying a freaking mammal is a reptile. Like, yeah, that's technically true if you trace it back. It's not wrong to say it, but it's also completely underselling what they are. You know, a dinosaur is not the same thing as a lizard or a snake. To just call them flat out reptiles isn't really fully explaining what a dinosaur actually is, which is why I get annoyed about it. Because this goes on to say, they were reptiles like crocodiles and turtles found today. No! No, they're more... They're closer to birds. The birds are dinosaurs. The turtles and the crocodiles are not. Like, no. Like, you see why I get mad now, but anyway. There were many different kinds of dinosaur, from huge, slow plant eaters to fierce, fast meat eaters. Dinosaurs ruled the Earth for about 160 million years, about 80 times longer than human beings have lived on Earth. About 65 million years ago, the dinosaurs died out. No one is sure why it happened. Well, now we're pretty sure. I'm gonna assume this book was written before a lot of further research was done on that. One idea is that small mammals stole the dinosaurs' eggs. Yeah, that was one theory, that our ancestors were like, oh, delicious eggs. But there were never enough small mammals to just eat eggs. Like, egg eaters existed for a while. That is not why they went extinct. Other people think that the Earth became colder at that time. Yep, Ice Age theory. The dinosaurs may have starved or frozen to death. Although no one has ever seen a dinosaur. Behold! A dinosaur. We know a lot about them from fossils. Fossils are hard parts of a dinosaur's body, such as its bones and teeth. When the dinosaur died, its body was buried by layers and layers of rock and mud. Over millions of years, its bones turned into stone. Fossils are found in places where the weather has worn the rocks away, or where the rocks have broken. They have to be removed very carefully because they are so delicate. The first fossil bone was found more than 300 years ago, as far as we know, but it was probably way before that. At the time, though, people thought it belonged to a giant man. I gotta do more research on that. They had no idea that dinosaurs had ever existed. Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously very, very dated. I think that's abundantly clear. Dimorphodon! With a really long neck. I don't like that. Other than that, it's okay, though. Like, especially for old art. That is the derpiest Plateosaurus I've ever seen in my life. He doesn't even know what's going on. I feel like a lot of the old school Plateosaurs didn't know. What the heck is with that one? What's with the little grabby hand? He's like,
I'm gonna get you. Yes, here I come.
like... I like the colors, though. I like the vibrance. That's nice. Oh, I think this particular raptor has made a big mistake. Okay, first of all, this was not a well-executed attack, because even if it went perfectly, he was gonna land on the armored back. So not really the best place to go in terms of actually, doing significant damage. But also, now you were on a trajectory to get impaled. But you look very graceful with that leg arched up there. You're just like a ballerina that's about to get stabbed. It's unfortunate. Speaking of stabbed, oh, brutal. And you know what I like about this one, other than the fact that the art is fantastic, but I like how it's not necessarily gory. it's only gory in the sense of the implication. Because we could see enough where we know that's a Rex and we know that's a Triceratops. And as a Triceratops, we know they have 3 horns. We see 1 horn on the front there, and we know where the other 2 horns are and where they have gone. And a Rex is a very tough beast. I don't see them living through that. That's a lot of horn that has gone straight into an area with many organs that you need to live. Woo! That's rough, buddy. That's rough. But yeah, the art's nice. Didn't even have to show blood. It's just that we know what has actually happened here. And that implication is enough. What the heck? Okay, I got a lot to say. First of all, the pillow shading is a little weird. Rex is thick. Just dummy thick. Shrike looks okay. Shrikes usually look okay. Unless that's a brachiosaur, that neck's too high. But who knows anymore? It's in the water, so I don't know. You! Excuse me! Sir! Sir! You don't belong here. You weren't invited to this time frame. Get back to where you belong. You're not allowed here. Why is it always Dimetrodon hanging out with the dinosaurs? It's like, yeah, it's me. I'm a dinosaur. No! No! Synapsid! Out of here! Go away! Okay, I like the coloration and the camouflage. No thoughts, only leaves, but so skinny. And with a weirdly angled neck. Like, it's just something off-putting about the way this Corythosaur is oriented, as well as the skinniness. I'm not liking that. There's some things to like, and a lot I don't like. And I know I'm the guy that always says that these things should be on all fours. And I stand by that, but I feel like they didn't really do it right. They're not. No, it's just something off. Something off. I don't. Is this? I feel like this is a prehistoric skinwalker. That's kind of the vibe it's giving me. Oh my goodness! I haven't seen art of this in forever. Don't you guys remember this theory that trike herds would form defensive perimeters around their young? As far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's no fossil evidence for this, but it is one of those speculative behavior kind of things, and it was like all the rage in the 90s. I think even the Magic School Bus in their episode about dinosaurs had this occur. It's something that was really popular. I haven't seen it drawn in a while. I'm not sure whether it fell out of favor. I mean, it's still something that could have happened. It makes sense, but we're also looking at it from a strategic human perspective. A trike might just charge like a bull. So it's hard to say whether they ever actually did it, but it is nice to see. You can't do this! This is madness! Madness. This is Cretaceous! I know exactly what these are. I shouldn't, because they're completely wrong, but I know exactly what they are. The one on the left is supposed to be Megalosaurus, the one on the right is supposed to be Iguanodon. These are their old school, horrifically bad reconstructions when they were completely wrong. But from a retro perspective, it's always cool to see them and them actually fighting. I mean, it's nice to see, no matter how wrong they are. Stegosaurus standing on business with what appears to be a Rex. Those are 2 claws. I mean, I guess there are other theropods with 2 claws. I know I always generally assume Rex, but Rex would be wrong here because they didn't live next to each other, even though they're often drawn together, people who don't think. Because Stegosaurs would have most often been dealing with Allosaurs, which have 3 claws. That doesn't. So what's the deal? I don't know. But Stegosaurus standing on business. Thagomizer's out. You want to play? You want to play? You will get gored. Stegosaur, do not play, alright? Just saying. And here we have a lovely family dinner. Nothing horrific or anything. Predators gotta eat, okay? They gotta. It's the circle of life. Oh, okay, this makes me mad for two reasons. One, the crease in the middle kind of ruins the art. But also, yo. Stop. What is that stare? I'm sorry, that glare. Like, dude, stop, no! And for a finale piece, I have a lot. Yo, someone sat down and was like, I would like to draw all the dinosaurs. Okay, go ahead. No, you don't understand. All of them on the same page. What? Yeah, that's what we're doing. I don't think this is meant to be, like, accurate in terms of time frame at all. And if it was, they're wrong, because, I mean, we have a stegosaur and a trike right next to each other. But, yo, like, there's so much going on here. I don't know where to begin, but we're going to try. I presume in the original format, they would have been labeled because they have numbers and letters next to them. Meaning there's probably some kind of list, which would have helped me greatly identify everything. So we're going to start the lower right. Don't know what you are. But you got a lizard. Good for you. Some kind of ankylosaur. Not sure if it actually is Ankylosaurus necessarily, or something related, but looks close. That is a Protoceratops. That's usually pretty easy to identify. Oh... I'm not sure. There's a few ceratopsians that you could be. You're definitely a ceratopsian, but in terms of which one, I'm not sure which one you're actually supposed to be. Speaking of, though, Triceratops. That was easy. I don't know. Archaeopteryx, I want to say? I should probably work. Oh, no clue. No idea. Stegosaurus. Ceratosaurus. No idea. Maybe Gallimimus? Or Strithiomymus, maybe? Perhaps? Hard to say. Chunkingosaurus, maybe? I don't know. Not sure about you either, but I want to say a Plateosaurus, if I had to guess. That's a sauropod of some kind. Looks like an Apatosaurus. Those are supposed to be T-Rex. I would be willing to bet good money they're supposed to be T-Rex. And, of course, to top it all off in the background, a massive, unrepentant, and unnecessary erupting volcano. Absolutely. 100%. When y'all were back in school, or maybe some of you were still in school, did y'all know that weird kid who thought it was funny to just creepily stare? But, like, when you weren't looking at him. So then you'd turn, and you'd see him staring at you, and you're like, ugh! The heck? You know, it's freaking creepy. Like, it always is. That's the impression this art is giving me. That's the vibe I get. It's just the staring and the, stop it. No. According to the listing, what this was labeled as, that's supposed to be an iguanodon. Could have fooled me. Because, I mean, I guess that is a thumb spike on the one, you know, forward limb we can see, but this is not screaming iguanodon to me, for a whole host of reasons. That's just one of them. Not seeing the iguanodon. It almost makes me feel like it might have been mislabeled, but who knows. Nice sunset, though. This is overall pretty nice. The thing that bothered me about it was not the overall presentation, because there's a lot of talent here. What bothered me are the Rex's heads, which are shaped fine. But is it just me, or are they really small? I feel like their skulls are a bit understated. I mean, other than that, it isn't bad. I just feel like their heads are tiny. You know, at least in terms of the size they should be, because Rexes have big, chungus heads. Like, but these are just like, no, it's not doing it for me. That's the only thing. Coloration's interesting. Got some orange and very dark green. Unique. Holy crap! That is, well, probably impossible. If I were to guess. But if two sauropods started fighting on two legs, that would be about the most horrifying thing I could imagine. I mean, that is ridiculous. Like, good lord, the collateral damage alone. Just, I mean, one of them's already toppled over a tree. Just, guys, chill out. This one confuses me, because I can't tell if this is an actual statue situation, or if this is a drawing. I think this is a statue. I think, or at least several statues. What I know is that the sauropod... Alright, we already got a situation where it's rearing, which is impossible. But even if I can ignore that, what the heck is with the... It's like, you start at the head with the sauropod, and you work your way down, but as you work your way down to the rear legs and into the tail, everything just falls apart. Almost quite literally, like it's melting or something. Like there's... The tail is extra big. I assume that was done as a way to add support to the statue, which I get, but it looks really weird as a direct result. Why do I feel like that Archaeopteryx is doing this on purpose? Like, this has been going on all afternoon. Him toying with this other dinosaur. Just flying around like, oh, you almost got me. Oh, you missed. Oh, you missed again. I could see that. I could see that. Ah, fantastic. Classic Triceratops. Just straight vibing. All peaceful. No predators in sight. And you know what that means! No thoughts. Only leaves. These classic raptor drawings are always neat, because it's just like... Well, it explains Jurassic Park to a significant degree. Back when we didn't realize they had so many pretty feathers. This is a classic raptor. Nice sickle claws, though. Those are very pronounced. Those might be a bit oversized, depending on what species this is supposed to be, I guess. But the art is not clear. It could be a few. You know, admittedly, if I were one of these animals in this situation, I'd be pretty confused, too. What horrific error occurred in the time stream where these two individuals are meeting at all? There's millions of years in between that they would have had to traverse. One of them is a time traveler, whether by choice or by accident, I can't really say. But yeah, they're like, hey, the heck are you? And neither really has a proper answer. But one of you is not supposed to be here. And given how often it usually happens with Dimetrodon, I'm leaning for it being its fault. But who knows? Maybe that Stegosaur just jumped in a time machine for funsies. You know, Stegosaurs do whatever the heck they want. You want to mess with the Thagomizer, Dimetrodon? You may got a big old fin, but we got big old spikes over here. We're not playing. This Dilophosaur bothered me. And I think it's just the way the body is arranged. Like, the neck. The neck, like, okay, no, it's not even just the neck. It's the whole thing. Because I look at it, and if I ignore the head, I'm thinking something like Gallimimus. You know? But the second you add the head, I mean, that's clearly Dilophosaurus. But it can't be Dilophosaurus because the neck is up way too high and too long, and the arms are... Yeah. Really, I don't know. You know, if you remove the double head crest, this would be a perfectly serviceable Gallimimus. But you did not do that. And it's troubling. On the other hand, you didn't give it a neck frill. So, hey, can't complain too much then. This creature is clearly starving to death, and I don't know why anyone would have thought otherwise. I mean, that is some next level shrink wrapping to an extreme degree. The tail doesn't even appear to have any flesh on it. Those are exposed bones. You know, if it weren't for the head, I'd assume this creature was dead. What the heck? Oh, tiptoe through the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me. Yo! Yes! Absolutely! 100%! Hadrosaur, assert your dominance! Do not go down without a fight! Look at that! He sent that one raptor flying off into the stratosphere! That is amazing! I don't think this art is very old, but I saw it and I had to show you, because that is lit! This is an awkward situation. Hey Tom? Yes, Gary? Are we still hunting them? You know, I think I'm gonna opt out. If that's all right with you. Yeah, you know, that's great. That's a great idea, I think. And last, but certainly not least, hello, classic Iguanodon. They got you so very wrong. But it's always nice to see you. Thanks for coming out. I hope you're doing okay. Yes, Stegosaurs! Do not allow this Ceratosaurus to impede upon your grazing. You are to have no thoughts, only leaves, but right now, you do have thoughts. And the thoughts are unspeakable violence. Ceratosaur looking over there, little dopey in that tripod stance, though. He's like, I'm gonna get you. The Stegosaurs look pretty good, though. The one on the back's tail's a little too low, but other than that, I mean, not bad. Not bad. I think the front legs have that lizard gait. Don't know how I feel about that, but that's not bad, all things considered. Speaking of lizards, I'm not sure what you're supposed to be. It could be a few things. I know that you aren't supposed to be standing that way, and you look very hungry. That is way too skinny. Too skinny. He needs some food. He needs some food yesterday, and didn't get it. Hopefully today he'll have some better luck in that department, but I see only leaves around. That's not good. He needs more than leaves. He needs some delicious flesh. Yes! Yes! Tyrant Lizard King! Asserting your dominance over these eggs! And a little lizard. Like, run, tiny lizard, it's the king! And the eggs, are those your eggs? Or you just bothering someone else's nest? I mean, I guess you could do what you want, but I feel like I need some more context that I'm not being given with this particular image. Of course, based on the crease on the right, this is a book, and I don't have the full page spread. I feel like I'd know what was happening if I had that, but I don't. So we're just gonna deal with this. This is what we got. Oh man, he has... I'm sorry. I appreciate the lack of pronated wrists. The tripod stance is it's a weird to see a combination like that. Like the wrists aren't pronated, but he's in the tripod stance. Like normally it's that those go hand in hand and they don't. Unusual. What is? Okay, it just dawned on me. There's a dead body there, so he just finished a hunt. But like his expression. There's no thoughts in that head, or if there are thoughts, it's like flashbacks, like he had to kill to survive because he's a predator. But he realizes the gravity of what he has just done, taken another life to save his own. He's a monster. Oh my god. That is beautifully old school. Alright, we're gonna start in the bottom right. That's a plesiosaur with the arched neck looking like a swan. That's a thing on the shore. Don't know what that is, or what that is. Maybe a crocodilian, who knows. But can we talk about... I don't know what this is supposed to be. Maybe an old school iguanodon, but it just looks like a regular iguana, except the magnificently coiled tail. That is something you absolutely only see in really old paleo art. That is straight up we're drawing dragons kind of thing. That is so... The artist was just like, yes, swirl the tail. Swirl it around. Make it swirly, because that makes sense. If you don't think about it at all. Like, what possible reason would he... I mean, I guess pigs have coiled tails, don't they? But no. No, we're not doing this. But it is cool. Little turtles! Hooray! Oh, okay. No, this is great. This is phenomenal. Whoever drew this, magnificent, because I know exactly what this is. You may be saying, what are all those animals? Well, technically, they're all the exact same thing. Those are all different renditions of Iguanodon. The one at the closer left is the only correct one. Far left is a bit more older than that. The two on the right, though, those are classic 1800s editions of the same exact animal. All drawn next to each other. You know what? I would love to see more of this. Can we get one with Megalosaur? I'd like to see one with Megalosaurus as well, because the differences are pretty staggering. Oh, he's just sitting. He comfy. Just vibing. Chilling on the shore. Like, yep. Taking a sit. Just hanging out. The other one in the back's no thoughts, only reads. He just sitting. No issues at all. I'm not sure what's being illustrated here. Are they just passing through, or are those filthy, stinking egg thieves? Hard to say, but the Protoceratops don't seem to trust them. That's the vibe I'm getting, so... It might be about to, chomp down on those very, very thin legs. Very skinny. No wonder they're looking for eggs, eh? They're hungry. But the Protoceratops gonna stand on business. Those are their eggs. No one else's. Get out of here. That's a nice stegosaur. I like this. Got some footprints with the one in the back. Still got that lizard gait. Don't like that. And the tail draggy. But outside of that, it's okay. It's alright. Fair attempt at a stegosaur. I see this one a lot. And I'm still not all too convinced of what it was supposed to be. I mean, it's clearly a theropod. In terms of which one, who knows? Sometimes I see it labeled as a T-Rex, sometimes it's an Allosaur, sometimes it's... I don't know what it's supposed to be. What I know is that tripod stands, and that's just a friggin' lizard. That is one of the most lizardy theropods I've ever seen. It's just a lizard. That's not even... No. Oh, yes! The Pachycephalosaurs are standing on business today! That Rex may be twice their height, but they don't even care! Just ram the leg! Like, the Rex has no idea what to do about this situation, and that is phenomenal. I like this one. We got a lot going on here. We got some hadrosaurs in the background. We got, I don't know what you're supposed to be. You got a... Is that an ankylosaur club on the end of that? What are you? Are you supposed to be an ankylosaur? Because if so, then no. But I don't... The club's throwing me off. Like, it could be just any... There'd be a lot of things it could be without that. But, like, with the club, I'm like, wait a minute. That's a very distinctive club. Like, what the heck? I don't know what that is. You don't know what that is. No one knows what that is. He's just hanging out. Don't mind him. Oh, God! Guys, get out of the water! See! but certainly not least, we have some old school dragon nonsense, because there is no other explanation for that. It's shaded in such a distinctive way. From an artistic perspective, I really like it. It's beautiful. But, like, in the center, like, they almost blend in with the, terrain. Like, to the point they're, like, part of it. It's a really interesting rendition, and now they're fighting. There's a lot of fighting. Looks like there's 3 animals fighting here. What they're supposed to be, I have no frickin' idea. They're old school dragons. Like, these are some of those ones where it's like, yeah, these are dinosaurs, right? No, they're not. But you tried your best with what you had. It looks like a sauropod in the background, though. Is it? I'm not sure. This is definitely a distinctive one. From a visual perspective, I like it. From an accuracy perspective, it's hideously wrong, but from a visual perspective, very interesting. Very, very cool.